intake system K&N. Some instructions. It's everything that comes in the box. And these are all the tools you would need. So the first thing you want to do is you want to disconnect the battery, the negative. Second, you want to remove this. I'm going to pause the video and start back recording once I get that part done. Okay, so the batteries for the Challenger is located in the trunk. It's right here. So what you want to do is disconnect the negative. That's this one right here. So next is the engine cover removal. Just pops right off. Here. And then you have to remove the Entail air temperature sensor. That's located right here. So if you're looking from the front, you go sideways, and it was right there. And I pulled it off. You just have to peel, twist, and pull it out. And that's that. So on to step 3. So step 4 was disconnect the crankcase vent hose from the air filter housing. This is the air filter housing right here, and this is the hose. It's in this suction part, so you just gotta pull it real tough, and it just comes right out. So on to step 5. Okay, for step 5, you want to loosen the house clamp that secures the intake tube to the throttle body. So looking at the engine, you come right here, and this is the throttle body, and you have to loosen this clamp right here. For step 5, that's that. Okay, I just finished step 5. You just want to loosen that screw. Don't fully take it out. Next step would be step 6, and that is to remove the bolt that secures the air filter housing to the car support. And that's this. And you have to remove this bolt right here. So you'll need your socket wrench for this. 10mm. Okay, I just removed this bolt, and that was actually an 8mm piece. You need another 10. So moving on to step 7, it says remove the complete stock intake system from the vehicle. Since I loosened that clamp earlier and did this bolt, and the hood cover is off, it should come right out this whole part right here. So I'm going to do that and move on to step 8. Okay, so I just removed the complete stock intake system from the vehicle. See, it's right here. Here it is right here. So thing. So moving on to step 8. It says install the inserted nut onto the heat shield using provided hardware shown. Okay, so right now I'm working on step 8 and 9. One thing about the instructions, it doesn't really specify what nut, washer, screw, or piece to use. So I'm assuming for step 8, it's the bigger bolt, the shorter one. And for this part, step 9, it's just this piece. It's what the picture shows, so it should be it. For this part, you're going to need a wrench and a socket wrench to tighten this part up. So I'm going to go to the bunny rubber around this piece. These rubber pieces around the metal housing. Or not the hose, but these pieces. Okay, so I just did step 10 and 11. That's bunny rubber trim around this. Also noted this is kind of a little bit longer, so if you have like scissors or something, you should cut just to this nut part. And the shorter trim goes around here. And that's that. That's the clamp from earlier. And that bolt goes in from step 7. But since it's not nothing holding on, I'm just going to have it sitting there until it's time to tighten it up. Next step is install the filter adapter into the heat shield and secure with the provided hardware. So that's this piece right here. So I can get that on there and move on to step 13 after. Okay, so I just completed step 13 and earlier from step 8. And it said put this bolt here, this one, that goes right here. this is the black piece that go on the other side. I just found this in the box. So now that I got this part in, it's time to put this assembly, this heat shield with the clamp. I put this clamp on the hose part, and so it's going to drop right in there. So and do that, and then it's going to be on to step 15. So far we just have this part assembled. I just got to screw this part in, and this is for it go inside this hole. This black piece, it goes right here, so this part fits right in there where this piece used to be. Okay, one thing to note when installing this piece right here from step 8. For step 8, do not tighten this all the way. As you tighten this part expands, and that's for it to fit snug into this hole. So just put it in here halfway. Do not tighten it yet. Tighten this part last, because as you tighten this up, this part expands, and that's for it to just have a snug fit inside this hole. So that's just something to keep in mind. Do not tighten that part up all the way. Okay, so I just completed step 15, and that was putting this rubber piece around the throttle body for the hose and tightening it up with this clamp. Step 16, it says rotate the Entail air temperature sensor counterclockwise. Now, depending on what year Challenger you have, it different rates. So for older Challenger, you would have to rotate. For 2015, it just snaps right off. So you just pull it. You don't turn it. You just pull it right off. And this is piece right here. So the next thing is to install the Entail air temperature sensor into the K&N intake tube shown as. So I'm going to do that. Then I'll move on to 18. Okay, so for step 17, you're going to take this piece, the sensor, and put it into this last hole right here. Stick it in there and rotate it. Okay, now it's to mount this piece into the end of this part. And that's going to be connected to this at the end, to this plastic piece right here. And that's step 18. Okay, so I just put the intake system in. Not still done, just had to put this piece in. This part goes here. And put the clamp on before you put the tube into the rubber, the silicone piece, because if you put the tube on first, you won't be able to get the clamp on. And same for here, make sure you put the clamp on before you insert the tube into this plastic piece right here. And also, it's a rubber hose that comes with the kit to connect the factory hose into the new intake. So this part is really like tough to put on here. I guess you're supposed to get it to here, and I'm only able to get it like halfway. And it goes down to the plastic piece that we put in earlier. So now I have to tighten up all the clamps and put this bracket right here. It's gonna go right here, and this part is gonna go down on this piece. So I'm gonna get this piece in. That's that one. And then we're gonna tighten it up and then connect the wire back to the temperature sensor. And that's that for now. So we're about to do this piece onto here, and then the sensor into here. Okay, so I just put the metal bracket in, and I tighten this up. Once you tighten this up, make sure you tighten these to match, because you're no longer on this side. And I connected the temperature sensor back. So now all I have to do is tighten this clamp here. I'll just tighten this back up from the we removed earlier, like step 1, step 3, whichever one it was. And now I'm going to tighten this piece up. And it's going to be it for this. Once I tighten the clamp up, finish tightening this up, tighten this part up, that'll be it for that part. That's that. Most of the screws and washers is not needed. With the 2015 Challenger, the setup is kind of different from the instructions, and also the instructions does not specify what nuts or clamps to use, so you just gotta be careful when doing that. The smaller clamps are for the tube on the daughter body, and the bigger clamps are for the rubber hose at this end. Okay, so I just tightened all the clamps and bolts in this section. The last step is just putting the filter in right here and tying up the clamp for it. So let's get this piece in here. Did this hose part. And just putting this piece in. Putting the cover back on. That would be it. Okay, so that's it. Finally done installing it. As you can see, I have to tighten up all the bolts one last time. Put the filter in, that was the last step. All I have to do is put the engine cover back on here. And I would be completely done. Followed all of these steps. For people with a 2015 like myself, the directions is kind of different. These directions are for mode of a older Challenger, anything before 2015. So 2014 and down, I'm gonna put the old intake in the box, and the last thing you have to do is make sure to plug back up the negative for the battery. Also, I got this base controller in the mail, so I'll be doing a video on this. This is control the base from the driver's seat versus turning all the knobs on the amp. That's it. Just gotta put the cover back on, and that will be it.